My grandma's. It's my grandma's lot.
I knew Casey grew up there, but I didn't know that until a couple weeks ago that's where you grew up there
yeah,
too.
that's where I grew up there too.
Until last week.
Yeah,
this week.
They built that house right when I was born. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
And we hear a lot about your family history, but did you guys own the Zacks and Zacks too?
Yeah, my dad built the first Zacks, which was like Tower 11 there. He built that because the city, that used to be like an old trailer park down that part, and nobody went to the beach down there. They went to the beach at the pier. I mean, that was middle of summer and a hot day. That was all empty. There was no concessions. There was no lifeguard towers,
Yeah.
It was just a trailer park down there. And the city tore that out, and then so now there was a chance for another beach concession.
Did Casey ever work down there? Summers?
A little bit, but he was harder to get him to work than it was to get me to work.
With Delaney? Did Delaney work there?
Yeah. And then Delaney, he was a natural worker. He took right to it.
That's so awesome.
That was great. And then my dad got the other one because his friend Bill Ford, he was a World War II pilot, but he was a teacher at Orange Coast, and he needed to sell. He had health problems, and my dad bought that from him.
How many times have you and Casey been down to Nexbud? When was the first? And when was the last?
When we went together?
Yeah.
He wouldn't go, and I was ready to take him when he was like 15 and 16 and stuff, or kind of around. I was ready to take him, but he wouldn't go because I didn't realize it late at night sometimes when me and my friends would be talking stories and things, and some of the stories weren't so nice.
Mainland Mexico?
Yeah, it's kind of some scary stuff, and he kind of had that in his head, and he was like, I didn't realize that, but I figured it out after a while. He kind of didn't want to go, but I think a couple years later, we went. I think we took Jason and we took Dell and
JK.
Yeah, and JK and Danny. Danny
Nichols?
No, Danny.
Cameron,
yeah. Danny
Nice.
Cameron, yeah. I think that was Casey's first trip, right.
I heard Danny got the bomber wave of the trip.
He did. He got a full on good tube ride, which is kind of rare at Next because it's not a real, grind. And they're out there, but it's hard to get lucky, But that was a spectacular trip because we got really clean, really good waves.
How was Casey surfing? How were you surfing?
Everybody was flying,
Yeah.
Yeah, it was beautiful, and there was a lot of like Mexican DEA guys around. They were staying in the hotel where we were staying. They were going on helicopter rides up the valley, and they were getting shot at by the dope growers because they were going up there and spraying the fields and stuff. And yeah,
So this was late '80s.
something like that. Yeah, Casey was right around 18.
Yeah.
So he didn't go till about then, and then he's he'd go another time or two, but then he got where he was partying too much and not living the way he should have been living, and he and I didn't get along for a while, and then we got through that, and then we kept going, and he straightened himself out, but man, it was really hard getting him off of drugs because he had that weight hanging over his head of the. He might have to go to prison here in a year or two, as that whole case was grinding down. You know what I mean? They were rounding up more people because he was a small potato guy, but the whole thing was interstate, even international with Canada. So it was that was going on. But once he got through that and got out of there, got off of drugs and got out of the halfway house and had a chance. You remember he worked his ass off giving surf lessons for 2 years, and then when he was really fit and things were going great, and then that's when he cracked the garage open and started doing T-shirts.
So that's where the name Sport of Kings came from, right? It was he named his surf lesson business Sport of Kings, right? He was doing out of Jack's on North Side.
When he did his first business back when he was 20, when he did
Royale, yeah.
I suggested to him at that time that
No way.
the
name?
Yeah, But he really liked it, but he'd already done Royale.
Yeah.
So then when he got the chance 20 years later to do it again, when he grabbed that and went with that.
I remember he had the T-shirts in his car, and like everybody, when he pulled them out, not a lot of people realized that was his surf instruction school. That was the
Yeah,
name
yeah.
of his surf instructing
Uh-huh.
school. And everybody was like, "Is this your new brand? That's
Yeah.
insane!" And it was just boom, fire,
Yeah.
caught
yeah.
on fire quick.
Yeah, coming up with that name, other than money, is the only contribution I ever made. To it.
Too.
That besides patting you on
And
the
the
back
kid.
and say you're doing good.
And then
Yeah.
that amazing guy.
Oh, he was just unbelievable. Everybody knew it. Everybody felt it. It didn't matter whether you were a surfer or you were some guy in a halfway house that met him, or you met him on the street somewhere, or you go in a restaurant and people meet him. He just lit people up everywhere he went.
I'm trying to think who it was.
He was like a human fuse or something.
He was the.
It's just
He
amazing.
Look
And
at
he
the
was like
photos.
that.
Every photo, without trying, people. He's in the center of the photo. People are gathering around him.
Wow.
Right? I mean, it was just.
And
He was a magnet,
Absolutely.
a positive magnet
Absolutely
toward
was, yeah.
people that they just wanted to be. You know, they just wanted
Yeah.
a little bit of that because he was so generous. The
Ah.
most generous guy
Wow.
with his attention, and you know, he made you feel valuable because he would
Oh yeah.
he would give you that eye contact.
And it didn't matter who you were. You didn't have to be cool. You didn't have to be somebody. You